covering all your favorite parts of the 50-yard fight. This is the Inside the Walls podcast with Zach Kyleman and Jim Mernier.
Good morning or afternoon, or wherever the heck you are, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Inside the Walls podcast. You might be wondering, hey, I'm leading off on this one, not just for our usual in and off shtick, because we have another edition of our Turf Talk series of shows, the episode of Inside the Walls that brings you conversations from players, coaches, and personnel across the National Arena League. Again, Zach Kyleman here hosting this one alongside my good buddy, pal, co-host 900 miles away in Jacksonville, Florida. It is Jim Mernier. Jim, good to have you in, man. You excited to talk with our guest today?
Yeah, fellow Duvalian is excited to be on the show today. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk today.
Of course. Yeah. And yeah, there you go. We are pleased to be bringing in receiver, defensive back, kick return specialist himself, Darian Townsend for the Columbus Lions. Darian, welcome aboard. First, I've got to lead in. You've had a hell of a season for Columbus so far. This second half into the year, so for you, it seems like you just get better and better every week. How are you doing, and how are you feeling so far through the year?
Hey, man, appreciate the great compliments and appreciate you guys having me on today for sure, man. Was looking forward to this podcast all day. But I'm feeling good, man. You know, as a rookie in this league, you know, just getting my feet wet and really, you know, getting up under the vet's wings. They're showing me things. So I think throughout the season I'm learning and I'm gaining things. So that might be the reason for the play. And, you know, a couple different personnel switches and things like that change the attitudes of some players.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about your rookie year. I mean, you joined into the NAL. You know, it's not like you're saying it's a rookie year where it's a different indoor league. No. You're joining in the first season of Iron Man's return into the sport as well that you're diving into. I mean, take yourself through that. I mean, did you understand and were aware of coming in? You're like, okay, I'm going to be playing maybe both ways. How have you adjusted to that? What's it been, I guess, as a rookie coming into this league and having to deal with those different positional challenges?
Oh man, good question. It's definitely difficult in a sense. You know, as far as, you know, the stamina, the fatigue aspect that comes into it. But when you look at it from a football standpoint or a trying to develop standpoint, you know, it gives you opportunities. I mean, me as a person that hasn't played DB since I was 16, it gives me opportunity to, you know, get scouted for DB, you know, get scouted some more for kick return, for receiver, you know, and it just shows, you know, how diverse of a player some of these guys can be and whatnot. So, I mean, it's been a blessing. I definitely didn't know what it had to offer. You know, I went back and looked at you know, the Iron Man from 2006 or 5 or whatever. And those guys, I mean, no disrespect, but they were moving with our speed, you know what I'm saying? And putting the type of, you know, I don't even want to say effort, but I just think, you know, nowadays we're moving at a different speed. So it is a pretty hard league to be in, but it's a blessing too, man. You know, just being able to be out there as much as some guys get to.
My first question for you, how's it working with Gibson and his mentality and how he coaches the teams? Because you can see over the last couple of years, especially this season alone, the transition, how he keeps his same like level tone in every game, no matter what the score is. Because he said, we had him on the show earlier this year and last year, he goes, no matter what the score is, he still thinks his team is capable of winning that game if it's down 30 or up 30. How is it playing for a coach like Jason Gibson?
I mean, it's a great time. Firstly, he's a player's coach, you know, so, you know, he kind of gets us and, you know, he allows us to, you know, voice our opinions in some aspects, you know, which helps our chemistry with him and the other coaches and as a team in general. But then just to piggyback off of what you said, I mean, we had maybe a 15-point comeback first game of the season this year, and then just a couple other comebacks, you know, where we go into half, and usually if you're a team down 15 or something, you're like, oh, hell, you know, we got a rough second half coming. But, you know, for us, it's like this is our time to turn it on. You know, nobody panics when we get into the locker room down, you know. So it's just it's a kind of a mindset that we took on, you know, and it's probably not the best for us. We need to start out strong, but at halftime, we're never looking confused. We're always ready to, you know, make adjustments because of his his attitude that we can always win. It's fourth quarter, we're down 18. It's arena football, we can still win. So, it just plays on our mental as a team, to just keep going. Doesn't matter when it is, just keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has definitely stressed that. We've seen in even inside the lines, that almost feels like it's straight out of the series, even before you're talking being there, where he's talked, I've been down 21 before and I've come back in this game, and it's a flip. It takes one or two possession flip and you can make it right back in your favor. So
definitely,
I definitely see him saying that. It's like right out of his playbook. For yourself, he talked about player coach. It's Columbus is very much, this is no slight to other organizations, but it's very much, when we talk with players, it is a family atmosphere. It's very much a well-knit group. How have you, in your rookie season, Columbus, how have you seen that firsthand?
Simple things of just, my guy Shane, man, he just was out here 30 minutes ago. One of our biggest fans, one of our sponsor guys, and he's just been around the program for a couple of years, but he comes out every Wednesday or Thursday night and gives his players of the week, and he gives us gift cards. So we might get a gas gift card, Chick-fil-A, just something like that to help the guys out.
Okay.
But then also
especially the gas card.
heck yeah, man. That gas card, man. When he gave me one of those, I went straight to the shelves. 25 on 8 right now.
There you go.
Right now. But we also have like team family. So it's called a Lion family. So every time we leave, or even when we got home games, they bring in like Thursday night, they'll bring in a bag of, like our favorite snacks, our favorite drinks and things like that for pregame and stuff like that. So just getting involved with the community, but on a real personal level, just shows how tight we are as an organization. But I mean, it goes way beyond, but those are two main things that I see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been referenced about the Lions families before too. It's kind of nice to get a firsthand account of that. It's a really cool community engagement thing that the Lions do. I mean, also you got the walk that goes in for every home game too.
Yep.
They built up a lot, it seems there.
I got a tough question. What are the go-to snacks? Gotta know.
Oh yeah. I mean, if we're talking, I guess at that point, if we're talking, what's your basket looking like?
Yeah.
The basket, man. For me, firstly, we need the Reese's in. We need Reese's in the house.
You're right to my heart. Right to my heart.
Come on. We need some peanut butter and chocolate, man. So we got to get that going. And then for me, I like the new Body Armor drinks. They have like this coconut one with no added sugars, or so they say. I like to grab that for the drink. And then as far as like, some protein, some power, I like these cashews. I got to find the dang brand they are, but there's some cashews with vanilla and pomegranate on it.
Ooh.
Need those every time. And then lastly, like these blueberry fig Newton bars. They're fire. They come like $2 a pack, but they're real good, man. They're probably like $1 a pack. I go to the Publix myself, and I'll get them for like $3.19 for like 5 packs. But those things are fire. But those are 4 healthy snacks besides the Reese that you need, in your pregame if you're coming to the Lions Den.
You sold me on the Reese's.
Then I went the healthy route on you.
I know. I'm like ignoring. So they said some Body Armor. What? I'm like
healthy Reese's. No wrong way to eat chocolate.
I had to save myself. Gibson and Blair are gonna watch this. I had to save myself there.
Well, for you,
whenever with them, they'll give us rankings of their favorite snacks. Like, no, Butterfinger would be first. No, Skittles would be first, or something like that. But yeah.
Oh yeah, those guys aren't eating salads, man. Jay and Josh aren't eating any salads. I know that.
No comment.
Well, even if they're watching for you, they're like, well, you better still be staying fit. How are you conditioning yourself right now? You're playing all 3 phases of the game, in here. I know obviously you can get swapped out every now and then, but you're still Iron Man through and through, week in and week out, and to almost the fullest extent when you're also returning the kicks, by the way, and not only just returning them, but being one of the more successful ones in the league. What's your conditioning structure for yourself?
At this point of the season, it's just managing my body, just making sure I'm not getting injured, but at the same time, I got to stay on myself. So usually I'll go to the gym about 3 times a week. I'll go with the quarterback, Dan Smith now. That's my gym buddy now. But before that, I would just go by myself and I would do, speed training, get some legs and get some arms in. Try to do speed training 2 times a week. And then after practice, just getting, some sprints in and things. But we try to get our conditioning during practice. I try to stay in as many reps as I can just to, give it the real game feel. You know what I mean? The whole antic about make the practice harder than the game. So, we try to do that, but at the same time, we're getting into week 9 and 10, even for Carolina, week 11 or whatever they're on. So it's about managing the body, but also being able to stay explosive and things like that. So just being smart about the gym workouts and things like that. But yeah, we stay in the gym constantly, man. Have to.
Speaking of explosiveness, earlier this season, no one heard of you. Everyone's talking about Desmond Reese. Everyone's talking about Jamar Fortson. All of a sudden, number 21 just starts going up and down the field like a Superman, like shocking people. How does it, for you, develop into the player that you are today as one of the top receivers in the league and DB, and you're making crazy catches like last week you got one over the wall that the announcer said you dropped, but you clearly didn't drop it, but you got it.
Yeah.
You made some awesome – you've been – in each and every game, you have a marquee catch. And usually sometimes the receiver that came in from previous year, like Fortson this year, is the main guy. And you are basically – everyone's told we got to take Fortson out, that he's the main guy, and you shine. Now everyone's looking at you. It's like, how do we slow you down and let everyone else get their ball? How is that feeling for you as an athlete working with, of course, the multiple quarterbacks you've already played with this season and still each and every week being the highlight player for this year's Columbus Lions?
Oh, good question. I mean, it's firstly a big shout out to Reese and J-Man, my big guy, Dre, all the receivers that, take eyes off of me. It's easy if you have one main receiver or one guy doing all the work to, kind of bracket them and just say the other guys have to beat us. But when they do that for us, I mean, you've seen Jarmon up in Albany almost probably jump about 11 feet for the ball, so they can never really key on me. But for me, it's just staying humble. It's a part of a process. I know that God can take this from me anytime he wants, So to me, and I always try to remind my teammates, it's a hard thing to remember, but I always try to tell them before the game, hey, play it like it's your last time. Like somebody's really telling you, like, this is your last time going out there and see how you play. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's hard to remember during the game. Sometimes third quarter I have to remind myself, like, were you really just playing like it was your last game? So just trying to stay on myself, make sure none of that stuff gets to my head, the Iron Man of the week things, the player of the week things. Like, I mean, you can't right now, especially, I'm trying to get to the highest level. The NFL is always, the thing. We're going to enjoy ourselves. I'm enjoying the heck out of the NAL, but there's always a higher goal. So to me, it's just keep chipping away, the day-by-day thing. So just not becoming complacent, not becoming content, and just I had 5 touchdowns last week, and I feel like I could have had 10. So we're going for 10 this week, man. We got to keep pushing.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean,
we'll go for the record.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it's being applied right now. And hey, you never know. Obviously, we do want to ask you about that matchup against Carolina here in a second. You mentioned one thing I want to touch on, though. You talk about your gym buddy Daniel Smith. I know that early season, had felt like there were, with Mesa Espinoza, the decision that he made that he went coaching, things kind of were shuffled up. Daniel Smith has seemed to steady the ship for you guys. Has come in, has been really efficient. How's it been getting the connections down with him through these last 3 weeks?
It's been a good time, man, just having him back around. I played with him in West Texas last year in our official rookie year, so I kind of with him coming in, I understood where his mindset was. He's a winner, and he doesn't care about the defense if we're being honest. If you're his guy and you're the receivers on his team, he thinks you can win every single time. And if you're not winning, he's going to throw the ball and give you a chance to win. So just knowing that and knowing the ball can come at you at any time, it makes us go hard every day. But also his mental, his approach to the game is crazy. Like I told I forgot who I did a dang podcast with last week, but I told him, like, Daniel comes into my dang room and he'll be like, "Hey bro, look at this." I'm like, it's 2 a.m. Why am I looking at film right now? But then we'll come out in the game and it'll look the same exact way. And I'm like, this is what he brought up at 2 a.m. So that's a way better feeling to a receiver than to have some quarterbacks of the past that just, weren't that in tune with the game or really weren't studying at that high of a level. And then you don't get those the outcomes that we're getting. It was just becoming frustrating. So getting him in here has definitely been a breath of fresh air for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's helped offensively. Defensively, though, I mean, you're even after last week with things being the way they were. The Lions with the group you're playing with, they're arguably the best defensive unit in the NAL. Statistically, you can make that case, and in certain games, and I think several games this year, Jim and I can make that case as well. What is Coach Gibson and his I would say his coaching staff pressure in terms of playing solid arena defense, not just not just concepts of a outdoor defensive unit, but arena with the shortened field. You got shortened passing lanes or quicker throws that can get out, and it's more yards after catch sometimes. I mean, what are you guys looking for? Like, what are some core principles he tells you guys to focus on that side?
Just making the plays. Firstly, it's Coach Dame Daniels. Not to say Coach Gibson doesn't have anything to do with defense, but Coach Dame, I mean, he comes up with a great game plan, but he always tells us as playmakers, he's going to put us in a position to go for it. He doesn't want you sitting back and the ball's there and I'm going to make the tackle this time. No, he wants you shooting. And if it happens to be a touchdown and we went for the ball, you know what I'm saying, and we tried to make a play 100%, he's going to live with it. So, it kind of takes a little stress off of us, as players. But then I think just the diversity. I mean, you got DeAndre Brown, who's a 6'7" receiver playing DN. You have Jarrell Green playing a heavy physical cornerback. You got Mo Leggett back now that plays a real strategic veteran game. You got number 5, we call him Drip, but Rodney Hall playing athletic in the middle. So, all those things coming together. You got J-Man underneath and a great D-line. I mean, it's just a bunch of stuff coming together. We as players give Coach Dame the opportunity to say go out and play and make plays as playmakers, and he gives us the opportunity to do it. So it's a two-way street that, I mean, it's just working amazing right now. We're going to try to get it rolling even more, especially after last week. We got to get it back to under 50 a game, but we'll get that going.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that target mark makes complete with how these teams have been playing all year. I mean, I think that's pretty reasonable if you offensively can keep up. Damian Daniels, I'll give it credit where credit's due. Thank you for correcting there, because he is, like I said, he's got you guys playing at for really the highest level right now. I know last week, like I said, a little different outcome, but still, all season it's been high caliber defense for an arena standard. I got to say. Now you're talking getting back on the high horse in that regard. You got the Cobras coming up this week. Yeah. A bit different of a Cobra squad, at least that we can tell right now. Because we're right now under our understanding is unless Jonathan Bain has a miracle come through for him, it's looking like it might be Malik Henry. We're going to base it on that. But still, even with that being said, tons of weapons that you guys have to cover in the secondary. What are you evaluating the Cobras in terms of keys to that contest for yourself?
I mean, we're not going to underestimate Malik Henry. Firstly, he beat us one time. We're 1-1 versus Malik Henry, and his teams that he leads in here. So we're definitely not going to treat him as an underrated quarterback. But we have Ings. He's a number 17, a great receiver. After the game, he taught me a couple of things that's been helping me since we played them. So, I know his vet work, you know what I'm saying? His work is going to speak for itself. And then 15, what's 15's name? I'm sorry.
That'd be
DJ Myers.
DJ Myers. Mm-hmm.
DJ Myers. There you go. And no disrespect. But he didn't play us last time, and we had a pretty big win. But he comes in and, weekly, he'll give you 3 or 4 touchdowns. So that's a guy that we have to account for that we didn't have to last time. and then, different guys like Summers and things like that. They got a great group of vets. I mean, they're leading the league as far as record goes for a reason. They got a great group of vets. They got a athletic group of young guys, just kind of similar to us, but and that's why we just got to focus, especially after coming off that loss to Albany. We just have to come in focused. We're not one bit thinking about that 55 or whatever, 58-28 win that we had, a couple weeks ago. We know how it goes when you walk into somebody else's house. We know how it goes when you're on the road and you got the travel thing. So right now, after last week, we're just really locked in on focusing for ourselves. Not worrying about the outcome, just focusing for ourselves, and just watching that film up, getting ready for those guys.
I have one final question. Playing Carolina, you're playing Coach Rez. They came into your house a couple weeks ago, and you basically you shut up the whole league about Carolina and about how Columbus, you basically changed the narrative. One thing I've noticed in every game so far in the league is there's always one special team play or special teams play. You, sir, are one of few people that I've seen so far consistently this season take the rock back after a kickoff. Do we have a chance this weekend to see that again? Because it seems like you do it every week, honestly. I'm just being honest. And it's like, oh, here's a kickoff to 21. I'm not going to look. It's going to be in the end zone dancing. This is being honest. I'm just going to say, will you do it? And if you do it, what type of celebration you're going to do? Because I've noticed that you've been introducing celebrations now in the season. Earlier in the season, you just handed the ball to the ref and went to the huddle. Now you're starting to dance each and every one you get.
Yeah. Firstly, man, anytime, we could get the ball on the kick return, I think I have to take advantage, So I say my little prayer and then hope next time I talk to God, it's in that end zone. But as far as celebrations, man, I try to do my Sub-Zero, my bow. I try to give them the bow with the kiss, but sometimes I get too dang excited and I'm up on the wall and stuff like that. So that's my signature, the bow. If you see me doing that, I'm locked in. But other than that, man, I just scatter all over. Sometimes kids are asking for balls, so you might see me looking for a kid jumping on a wall or something. But I can't gritty and I really can't dance. So that's why I do the bow. I would love to. If you see me grittying, that's just me practicing it. So give me a couple weeks. But the bow is when I'm in my zone, and the throwing the ball is when I'm geeked up, when I'm ready to go. All right. But those are my two things.
Good. That's good. Give the ball to the kids. That's awesome. That's always fun.
Got to, man. Got to.
A little more season left. You got some time to practice the gritty.
For sure.
You get it down. No, don't worry. They'll get it down. You get the kids jamming with. Yes.
For sure. We might have to wait till 2023 for the gritty. It's gonna be old by then. But it's okay.
Buddy, off season to practice.
Right.
Darian, before we let you go, this is my final question for you, and I guess this is kind of I'm kind of wanting to get the perspective of the player. Jim's right. You definitely have been seeming like when almost frequently when you get the ball on a kick, you've kind of find those alleys to get to the end zone. What's through the lens of someone in that situation? You get the ball. Are you looking for a specific already pre-made alley? Are you looking for something that is kind of like that sign that you're going to get a key block that opens it up? Or are you just going reaction, quick timing, and decision-making? How do you process things on the fly, especially with a contained and condensed field with less, east-west movement involved?
Well, I mean, outside, that's a big special teams thing. Like you'll go over special teams, for 2-3 hours a week in outside ball, and setting up blocks and things like that. Here it's more off of reaction, but these guys know now that I'm, as a returner, going to try to make them right. So if they just get a hand on, I'm, as a returner, I'm never going to be mad at them. If I run into their guy, it was on me. And I always tell these guys that, if you set them up, we'll set them up right. Sometimes they'll come to me like, why didn't you cut back? And I'm like, my fault. We'll get it next time. But just to see them that excited about me having the ball, that just tells you what type of team we have. they're ready to go block. They're ready to see me in the end zone. So it's amazing to have those type of blockers. But yeah, like I said, it's just about making them right at this point in an arena. Just make them right, meet them in the end zone, and we're going to celebrate.
That's what I'm talking about. Darian, thank you very much for joining us on this edition. I'm gonna give you time here because applauding to you. I know ownership's going to applaud you for having that logo so graciously placed in that shot. I can already hear the ownership go, yes, promotion. Why should we come out? Why should someone come out to a Columbus Lions game? What makes it special? That's something, got the logo. What brings them out to check out the team behind that logo?
The excitement, man. How we as a team keep people engaged, and then our level of play. We play gritty. We're gonna grind. We're gonna play clean as possible, but inside those rules, we're gonna grit and grind, sweat, and get all bloody. You know what I'm saying? So it's different from the outside game as far as different dimensions. But you should come out and see the Lions because the excitement. We're banging guys in the walls. We're going up over the walls to catch the ball. We're throwing the balls to fans. We're getting down on the field after meeting you guys, So come out to the Lions game, check us out, but then, get to know us personally. And that's the biggest thing. They could really become a part of this Lions family coming to the Civic Center.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love hearing it. Darian, where can we follow you, like personally? Sounds like you're just getting things really started here for yourself more and more, at least in indoor, and trying to get your career going. Where can folks keep tabs on yourself and maybe personal items for you?
So I'm on Facebook under Darian Townsend, my government name, and then if you go on Instagram, you can find me at SB the coach. So SB stands for Strictly Business. Me and my guy Strictly Business, and then the coach after that. Or you can hit me on Instagram on the training page, which is club and then the letter 7 training. That's my training page. You'll see our kids. We have kids from 5 years old to pro, and we train them up, and we got videos and things like that. So make sure you guys give me a follow. I'll follow back, and just keep it in the football family.
Nice. Yeah, folks, listen and go support this man. He's leaving it out there on the field, and I definitely imagine he is contributing very well to his own behind the scenes ventures too. Sure. Again, Darian, thanks for joining us, and folks, thanks for joining in for another edition of Turf Talk. We're glad, like I said, we love talking to folks like Darian and others in the league. Getting a bit of the stories behind the person. Remember, these football players do have lives outside of the field. Keep that in mind. When you're going to games too. And this show, I hope, highlights that for those of you out there. For Darian Townsend here, for my partner Jim Riam, Zach Heilman saying thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow us at InWallsPod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, click the bell. Builds morale, by the way, for us and for the league in general as well. Remember, we are the official podcast of the National Arena League, so be sure to follow along with us as we go along for the remainder of this exciting and chaotic finish to the 2022 season. Stay tuned, everybody. Catch you guys for the final walkthrough here on Friday. We'll see you for the next one.
Covering all your favorite parts of the 50-yard fight. This is the Inside the Walls podcast with Zach Heilman and Jim Bernier.